How have distribution deals changed from when you first began making films?
Distribution changed a lot, period. We used to make actually movies. That's how our production company started. We used to make movies directly for distributors. So that was a different process. Then the industry changed a lot, and we started to do more like getting money from investors, private investors, and make the movie, and then you shop it around. And that's what we're at right now. Basically, we make the movie, then we shop around, see who's out there, and also based on your past experience, how you're treated before by other distributors. You're kind of like trying to avoid certain things, to happen to you.
Like what?
Like being screwed financially.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, like being mistreated by the distributor, by not showing you the artwork of your movie, not being able to approve that, or at least be involved in that, having your name spelled on the back box, on the DVD cover or VHS, or like somebody literally they forgot to put Brad's name on a movie he directed on the DVD cover on the back, but the guy who did the artwork, his name was there, but the director, God forbid, should be on the box. So talking of abuse and many issues like that, we had a lot happening to us. So we're kind of wary, and sometimes you deal with, we dealt with various companies, some bigger, some smaller, and sometimes you deal with bigger companies and you think you're going to be in better hands, but not necessarily, because they deal with like a lot of movies, and sometimes they don't get your movie even if they are acquired and, paid for that. And then you struggle with their promotion department, and they don't get your movie, and they don't put like say the laurels from the festivals on the back cover. You fight to do that because they want to sell it as this big blockbuster thing, but that people are not going to buy that because they know what blockbusters are out there. So your movie, it is an indie sci-fi or horror movie, and it won some festivals awards, so let's not be ashamed of that, but there are struggles, and sometimes how you're treated, as a filmmaker, you don't even get to go inside the production company, the distribution company's office. You're just more like a production assistant and kind of like dropping your deliverables, and they don't even want to deal with you to pass by the receptionist. So we had all sorts of situations. Okay, maybe we passed by when we recorded the commentary because we had to, but you kind of treated and kind of kept away. So, we're working on the last couple of movies, working with Wild Eye releasing, and they are distributor in New Jersey, and usually we don't work with distributors who are not in LA, because we like to meet with them and go to their office and all that, but we work with them because they respect the filmmaker more, and that's important to us. They do send us the DVD covers, they do send us a check disc, we have input, we make changes, we discuss that with them, and that's frankly how it should be, but it's not all the time, so.
What about when it comes to streaming? What are some things regarding distribution deals that filmmakers should be aware of?
You should make sure that your movie gets on various streaming avenues nowadays, because you have to. Although streaming is not generating a lot of money for distributor or filmmakers, also it's getting tougher for independent distributors and filmmakers, even like, let's say, Amazon. They're trying to put more restrictions about your content. Like we had to fog some areas in our movie, on our last movie, to make sure at least it gets on their streaming services. And I wasn't happy at all being from Romania and, you know, having dealt with censorship in the past. And that's something people don't talk about nowadays. I think we definitely need to address that. We don't need that. They're afraid that they can be sued by, you know, parents whose kid clicked on your movie and they see whatever, because it's a horror movie, you know, so you have some violence, you have some nudity, whatever. But I don't think because of that I should fog or cut scenes from my movie. I don't think it's fair, but in this case it was the only way to get the movie out there. And I also it creates you know, some revenue that we need as indie filmmakers. We really need. So that's an issue that it just arose to us with this movie. It didn't happen previously, but now it happens. Also, Netflix, you know, when it started, we used to get our movies on Netflix easily. Once they start to get bigger, they don't accept a lot of indie movies anymore, not just horror movies. They don't just accept that, period. So it's kind of frustrating because they build their company on movies like ours. Like our older movies, they're, you know, part of their services. Our newer movies aren't. And that's just not fair, you know, because then they build their business on small movies like us when, you know, studios wouldn't deal with them because they didn't know who they were. And then they got bigger and bigger, and sure, now they make their own productions, they don't care anymore. So, you know, streaming is important, but it's tough. They have a lot of quality control. Like, I think iTunes, it's very tough about that, like almost too tough. And it's very hard on indie filmmakers, you know, because it's a very expensive process to get a movie on, like, let's say, iTunes, because it costs us and the distributor a lot of money. And I don't know if I would make my money back if I, you know, give it to them necessarily. But just to go through the process to be accepted, it's very expensive. So, you know, streaming is still kind of a complicated issue. We still believe in you know, DVDs and Blu-rays and even VHS. High def even came, like limited VHS, because there are a lot of collectors out there, and a lot of horror fans are collectors and they're supportive. And frankly, that's what generates more money than streaming, just like physical media still. Even if a lot of video stores are closed and retail stores are closed, at least, you know, from various sites they can buy, you know, the DVD, and that generates more money than actually streaming.
So with the fogging of the things in the movie, are we talking labels and brands, or this is like male full frontal or something?
Yeah, it's what's fogging, we had to fog is male full front or women full front. Not a lot, because we didn't have a lot, obviously, but yeah, it's about nudity. It's not about brands, because we wouldn't have that to begin with. That's something I make sure as a producer we don't have that. And I'm very kind of nagging the field producers of all these segments not to have that. And if we would have that, we would deal with that. We would first digitally remove it, or, you know, do something, or have them reshoot something, so that wouldn't even get there. But no, for me, it's literally we're getting to a state of censorship of, you know, basically somebody we gave artistic control, now he had parts of his segment fogged. So I'm not happy about that. The director wasn't happy about that, because none of us knew that would happen. But, you know, he understands. Obviously, he wants his movie out there. And that happened only on streaming. On DVD, VHS, we have no problem, because a distributor doesn't care. He's very cool. Otherwise, you know, he wouldn't have accepted the movie in the first place. He knows what these movies are, and he loves the genre, and he's very cool and supportive. So he's not the one creating the problem at all. He was annoyed to tell me about this new thing with Amazon. So, yeah.
And is it only Amazon, or are there other?
As far as I know, right now it's just Amazon, but I don't know. Like it's something very new, and to be honest with you, other filmmakers we know didn't have this experience yet, so I'm kind of like trying to almost talk about it. So maybe you'll stop at some point if we bring it up, you know, and discuss that. This is an issue that we started to get concerned with recently because of this movie and this situation. Also, I'm not thrilled with, you know, piracy in general, because that really, you know, kills us financially, and it's very hard nowadays to make foreign sales and everything because of piracy. So it's a major concern, and it's something the industry didn't do anything about for years. So that's very problematic, and I guess, you know, big studios, they're, you know, they lose some money, but they don't care enough about that, and even if they have offices full of lawyers, they don't do anything. But we, as independent filmmakers, were really affected by that because we lose a lot of foreign sales. And I mean, I had to shut down things on YouTube, people putting our movie illegally on YouTube many times. A distributor had to do that too. I had to shut down here and there some torrent sites. But you know, I can't do that every day. I can't chase these things every day, or otherwise I'm not going to make movies anymore, you know. I mean, I don't have a room full of lawyers doing that, you know, who are hired on staff, paid to do things like that. I just do it myself, and you know, it's kind of negative, and it's not something you want to do every day. Here and there, look, I'm going to do it because, you know, we're losing money, and I don't want my movie on YouTube who just came out or something for everybody to watch it for free, when they can just buy a copy or stream it on various, you know, venues that are out there. So, yeah.
Do you send an email to the content creator first? I mean, I realize it's your IP that they've stolen, but do you try to at least give them one chance? Because I find it's interesting when people, they'll fight you back on it, like, no, I'm not taking this down. And you're like, wait a minute, what gives you the right to have our...
I don't deal with people who put it out there.
Oh, you just copyright
I just
strike?
go to YouTube or whoever and just write them. I have like a literally a document already written, and I just copy and paste it, and I just send it. They do take it down.
Yeah, they are responsive if you reach out to them. Yeah.
But you have to do it. And you don't always have time to check on YouTube, see if your movie is illegally there, you know. But sometimes if you do, and I just do it right away because I just, you know, have a document and I just copy and paste it and send it immediately. And it usually gets down because I have... It's my movie, I have proofs, only unless, you know, my production company or the distributor, you know, they're the only entities who could do something with it.